Welcome back to the channel. In the previous episode, I alluded to the difficulties Earth's humanity is starting to face in everyday life, and how we are seeing the evil players who have ruled our planet's affairs for the past 5,000 years, and who have been charged by their dark-minded masters to remove all our freedoms and human rights. In this episode of MME-metaphysical Mysteries Explained, I'll be revealing the extent to which the current governmental powers are pursuing total control of human affairs. It's so unfortunate that the majority of Earth humans do not seek out the alternative media and are receiving gross misinformation from the government media lackeys. These, of course, are the four major media presenters and other literature-based outlets, as you can see from the insert on the screen. The leader of this disinformation campaign is the current world superpower, whose dollar is the world's reserve currency for all trade on our beautiful planet. Make no mistake, what I'm going to reveal to you is that the conspiracy theory story these errant governmental powers would have everyone believe is being directed against them by alternative media outlets is, in fact, a very real case of conspiracy theory morphing into fact. Almost everything put out by the mainstream media is a blatant lie, and the goons don't even try to hide it anymore. It's become evident that the Wicked Enslavement Forum is in total control of the current onslaught on human values. Their target is a total destabilization of the once peaceful pursuit of the dream, as it was known in bygone years. My country, to its north, is not faring any better as the Liberals are destroying the once peaceful and tolerant attitude of our people, as the Prime Minister seeks only to appease his dark-minded masters of the Wicked Enslavement Forum. The current narrative is seeing a stupefying trend of insanity by certain minority groups that have been granted license to say the most ridiculous things, whatever they can think of, to cause fear, friction and discontent amongst the general populace. This license has been granted by the despicable, lying and infamous governmental powers who seek only to bring ruin to our continent's economies. Pay close attention to my list of current and forthcoming deep state impositions, events that are already starting to dominate the skyline of our continent. Decide for yourself what you believe to be true or false. One thing is for sure, humanity's way of life will never be the same again. What you decide after this will determine your path through to a new reality. My list of current and forthcoming deep state events is as follows. Number 1. All banks are beginning to narrow down cash usage parameters in order to enhance control over the financial affairs of ordinary citizens. Their monetary control measures started with big businesses, then medium to small business owners. Anyone who thinks that that's where it'll stop is severely mistaken. The reason for the measures cited as the prevention of fraud and money laundering is a very thinly veiled ploy to mislead the uninitiated or unawakened, and to eventually control everyone's financial affairs. A measure that will allow, through the introduction of the CBDC, central bank digital currency, total control over what a person can buy or sell, and also provide the means to punish any non-compliance of their nefarious agenda. Number 2. Geoengineering. There are devastating geological disasters that are occurring in many places around the world, even as I'm preparing this talk. There are terrible floods in China and many other parts of the world. Maui is burning and the historical town of Lahaina has been completely destroyed, an event that carries with it possible ominous implications. The real question is, will the huge asset risk management company BlackRock step in and buy up the entire area for a future development that could include 15-minute cities and green zone entities friendly to the deep state? Please note I'm saying ostensibly. This is only a possibility and not a fact. Number 3. Find out what's happening at the borders of our continent. Check out the insert to see the one to which I am referring. There's a terrifying number of people entering from the south, trained operatives from China and a smattering of other trained individuals whose sole intent is to cause disruption to the economy and chaos amongst the local populations. The dream of prosperity and the pursuit of happiness will eventually become a nightmare of fear and disillusionment. In addition to the aforementioned geoengineering phenomenon, there is an interesting interview that was done by Dr. Michael Sala, where he discussed weather modification technology to be used against certain targets in the world. This subject was exposed by Dane Wigginton, an expert in the field who has done research on this phenomenon for the past 21 years. Could it just be that many of these weather-related disasters mentioned might have been caused through the use of this technology? I can't say for sure, but it makes me awfully suspicious. Mainstream pundits will cry the usual nauseating mantra, conspiracy theory. Wigginton produced a video that showed President Lyndon B. Johnson giving a speech at his alma mater at Southwest Texas University in 1962 about this exact subject. Johnson made reference to the fact that weather modification technology has been perfected and has been around for many years. The phrase he used exposed the possible hidden motives of deep state players for the future. He who controls the weather controls the world. It's really not much of a stretch to imagine that this is a well thought out plan, a plan that echoes the sentiment carved into the Georgia Guidestones. The Georgia Guidestones was a monument that was erected in Elbert County, Georgia, US, and remained in situ until 2022 before it was blown up through the use of an incendiary device. It is purported that the elimination of the world population from its current 8 billion to 500 million is a well-known directive by the Wicked Enslavement Forum, which intends to reduce the population of the earth to a more manageable figure for more effective control. It's difficult not to be incensed by this rhetoric, but we should guard against the fear its architects mean to instill. Here is the good news. As I've said before, it's a fear factor that allows these desperate minions of darkness to hold on to their power trips. Once there's a strong group of brave thinkers who refuse the lies we're being told and who decide to take back our divine right of rulership, the deep state position will flounder and collapse. Make it your objective to dispel the fear-mongering of the deep state, the profiteering of the pharmaceutical industry, and the money grab of the military-industrial complex. Let's move into our destined roles as overcomers of evil, as the last remaining deep state minions are removed from their positions of power. And so, my dear friends, that's all we have time for today. There are many more interesting mysteries to talk about, so I'll see you on the next episode of Metaphysical Mysteries Explained. Please hit the subscribe button and give a like, a thumbs up before you close off. Thank you for watching. See you next week.